Today we recap 12 Angry Men, considered one of the greatest courtroom dramas in Hollywood history. It follows a case of an 18-year-old boy accused of stabbing his father to death. The case goes to trial, and 12 jurors attend the hearing. After listening to all witnesses and evidence, the judge instructs the jury that the final decision is entirely in their hands. If they decide the boy is guilty, he will be sentenced to death. If they decide he is not guilty, he will be set free. The jurors are then sent into a room where they must reach a unanimous verdict. All 12 jurors enter the room, and the court officer tells them that no one is allowed to leave or contact anyone until the verdict is decided. If they need anything, they can call him. He leaves, and the 12 jurors take their seats according to their assigned numbers. To all of them, the case seems completely one-sided. Every major witness and piece of evidence is against the boy. Most of them expect to finish quickly and return to their daily lives. They decide to vote immediately. Anyone who believes the boy is guilty should raise their hand. 11 hands go up. Only juror number 8 does not. When the vote is reversed, asking who believes the boy is not guilty, only juror number 8 raises his hand. Everyone becomes irritated because they thought this would be over in minutes. But now, because one vote is different, they cannot leave. One juror suggests convincing juror number 8 that the boy is guilty. They begin reviewing everything that happened in court. There are 3 major pieces of evidence against the boy. First, the old man living in the apartment below testified that he heard a fight, a shout of "I'll kill you," and then saw the boy running down the stairs. Second, the murder weapon, a unique knife, was found at the crime scene, and the boy had purchased an identical knife that same evening. Third, a woman living across the street claimed she saw the boy stab his father from her window, which faced their apartment directly. Juror number 3 stands and says everyone heard the same testimony in court and should reach the same conclusion, that the boy murdered his father. Juror number 8 says the boy is only 18, still a child. Juror number 3 argues that at 18 no one is a child and insists the case is clear. But juror number 8 asks for at least a discussion because their vote can send someone to death. Most jurors are annoyed with him, convinced that the boy is obviously guilty. Juror number 7 says he raised his hand immediately because it was obvious to him. He says nothing will change his mind, even if they argue for 100 years. He wants to finish quickly so he can attend a baseball game starting in an hour. Juror number 12 suggests trying to convince juror number 8 one by one. They all agree. Juror number 3 begins by discussing the old man who lived downstairs. He testified that he heard the father and son arguing, heard a shout threatening murder, a body hitting the floor, and then saw the boy running away. The police arrived soon after and found the father dead with a knife wound 4 inches deep. Next, another juror explains the woman's testimony. She lived across the railroad tracks and could not sleep because of the heat. As she looked out her window, she saw the boy stabbing his father. Even though a train passed at the same moment, the court had proven that if the train's lights were off, the view across would still be clear. Juror number 8 asks everyone to reconsider the neighbor's testimony about hearing a fight. They heard voices but did not hear what was said. They heard slaps and then the boy leaving. This does not prove murder. He explains that the boy grew up in a violent neighborhood where fights and beatings were common. Juror number 4 suggests that maybe this last fight crossed the line. Juror number 7 lists the boy's criminal history and behavior as evidence of his violent nature. Juror number 8 says the defense attorney was weak and missed many important questions. He asks to examine the knife used in the murder. The knife is brought in. Juror number 4 insists that this knife is extremely rare, and even the shopkeeper said he had never seen another like it. The boy claimed he bought the knife, but it fell out of his pocket through a torn hole, and someone else used the same model to kill his father. Juror number 4 calls this impossible. Juror number 8 pulls an identical knife from his own pocket and sticks it into the table. Everyone is shocked. He explains he bought it the night before from a shop in the boy's neighborhood for just a few dollars. This proves the knife is not unique. Juror number 8 asks for another vote, this time by secret ballot. If 11 still vote guilty, he will accept the verdict. They write their votes on slips of paper. Everyone expects the result to be the same. But when the votes are counted, now 10 vote guilty and 2 vote not guilty. Someone has changed their mind. Juror number 9 reveals he is the one who switched sides. He says he does not necessarily believe the boy is innocent, but he believes juror number 8 deserves support because he raised valid doubts. Juror 12 asks, If the boy didn't kill his father, then who did? Juror number 8 explains that the father had many enemies. He drank, gambled, fought often, and had broken someone's arm recently. He had been to jail. It's possible someone else killed him. But discovering the real killer is the police's job. Their job is only to decide whether the boy is guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. Juror number 3 insists on focusing on the old man's testimony. He heard the threat, then the thud, and then saw the boy running down the stairs. Juror number 9 says the old man was lonely and desperate for attention. He likely believed what he wanted to believe. He had a limp, could barely walk, and dragged his leg. It is unlikely he could reach his door and see the boy in just 15 seconds. The jurors decide to recreate the scene inside the room to test whether the old man's testimony matches reality. In the jury room, juror number 8 begins a demonstration. He plays the role of the old man who claimed he walked from his bed to the front door in just 15 seconds. To test this, juror 8 walks the same estimated distance of about 50 feet. When they time it, the walk takes 41 seconds, not 15. Juror 8 explains that the old man probably heard a loud noise, opened his door, and heard footsteps running. He assumed the person running was the boy, the victim's son, but that assumption had no solid proof. Many jurors start to reconsider the reliability of the man's testimony. Another vote is demanded, and this time the result comes out even. 6 jurors believe the boy is guilty, and 6 believe he is innocent. With the split vote, juror number 10 says the group cannot reach a final decision because 6 jurors remain firm in their belief that the boy committed the murder. Juror number 8 explains that the court will not accept such a quick verdict, especially since they've only been deliberating for around 2.5 hours. He says they should spend more time going through the remaining evidence and witness statements. Tensions rise during the discussion. Arguments break out, voices are raised, and at moments, it almost turns into a physical fight. Still, they agree to continue reviewing the case. Juror number 2 asks to examine the knife again. He points out that the wound was made from the top downward. He notes that the boy is shorter than his father, and he doubts that someone shorter would naturally strike from above. Juror number 3 takes the knife and asks someone to stand in front of him. Juror number 8 steps forward. Juror 3 demonstrates how the stabbing might have happened, gripping the knife from above. His demonstration convinces a few jurors. Juror number 5, who grew up in the same kind of neighborhood as the boy, asks for the knife. He explains that people with experience using switchblades never strike downward. He demonstrates how such knives are normally opened and used, from the bottom upward. If someone were to stab from above, they would have to change their grip in an unnatural way. Since the boy was skilled with knives, he would not stab in a way that goes against instinct or training. When he lifts his shirt, a scar on his stomach shows he has first-hand experience with knife violence. Juror 3 argues back, demanding to know how Juror 5 can be so certain. Juror 5 calmly points out that Juror 3 also was not in the room during the murder. The discussion makes it clear that the stabbing angle does not match how a person experienced with knives would attack. Hearing this, Juror number 7 changes his vote and now believes the boy is innocent. Another vote is taken. This time, 9 jurors say the boy is not guilty, and 3 still believe he is guilty. Juror number 8, who has always said he wasn't sure of the boy's guilt, tells the remaining 3 to explain why they still think the boy committed the murder. Juror number 4 admits that many arguments made so far were convincing, especially about the knife, but insists they cannot dismiss the testimony of the woman who lived in the building across the train tracks. She claimed she saw the boy stab his father through the windows of the last 2 passing train cars. Juror 3 agrees, saying they can throw out every piece of evidence except hers. Juror number 12, hearing this, switches his vote back to guilty. Another vote is taken, resulting in 4 guilty and 8 not guilty. The woman's testimony now becomes the only major evidence left supporting guilt. The room falls silent until Juror 3 says they should go back to court and report they cannot reach a unanimous decision. Juror 4 suggests they give themselves more time and sets a deadline before giving up. While speaking, he rubs the side of his nose, showing discomfort. Juror number 9 notices this and asks if the spot is painful. Juror 4 says yes. Juror 9 then asks whether the marks on his nose come from wearing glasses. Juror 4 confirms they do. Juror 9 continues, saying the woman who claimed to see the murder also had similar marks on the sides of her nose. Several jurors agree they saw them too. Juror 8 points out that the woman testified she was trying to sleep. If she suddenly got up and looked out the window, she wouldn't have had time to put on her glasses. Without them, she wouldn't have seen anything clearly through a moving train. She might have only seen a blurry figure and assumed it was the boy. Juror 3 refuses to believe this and insists the woman could not be mistaken. But Juror 8 personally asks each of the remaining guilty side jurors to explain their reasoning. One by one, 3 of them admit the woman's testimony is unreliable. Now 11 jurors believe the boy is innocent, leaving only juror number 3 holding on to guilt. Juror 3 argues desperately, saying there are many other evidences: the knife, the old man's testimony. But another juror reminds him that he himself had told them to throw away every piece of evidence except the woman's testimony. Juror 3 becomes angry. He shouts that the boy is guilty. Juror 8 tells him he must give a logical reason because they all doubt his argument. Juror 3 says he will never change his vote, even if he sits in the room for the rest of his life. He repeats that the boy told his father, "I'll kill you," and says it proves his guilt. Then he begins talking about his own son, who once hit him and left home, never to return. His wife died grieving, and he hasn't seen his son since. As he speaks, he breaks down crying, showing the emotional pain he carries. Juror 8 gently tells him the defendant is not his son and deserves a fair judgment. After a long pause, Juror 3 finally changes his vote to not guilty. With all 12 jurors now agreeing, they conclude the boy is innocent. They leave the room one by one. Juror number 3 and juror number 8 exit together. Juror 3 quietly says his son left home 2 years ago and never came back. The film ends with this final moment. If you like this video, then I highly recommend these 2 videos on your screen.